Magic. The darkest magic. My soul swims in it, scattered across time.
That noise downstairs. That voice when no one else is around. That reflection that moves on its own. We are the Sixth Demon Bag Hollywood edition. Hello. We are the Sixth Demon Bag Halloween special.
Yeah! Halloween. My nom de scare is Jephistopheles.
Chad Pfeiffer.
This is Ryan Gorossi.
Hey guys, it's Ed Vreikelak.
This is Elliot Zombie McMillan.
Dreadful Drew.
Drooky Spooks.
Drooky Spooks is pretty good.
Jerky Spooks.
Another spooky year has passed.
Indeed,
and
it
a spooky
has.
one it was.
We're right in the middle of it, as tradition. I have filled the Six Demon Bag with spooky topics and strange and wonderful candy. So when the bag comes your way, you're going to pull out the candy, pull out a topic,
And pull out your...
Chad, as our honored guest,
Hello.
I would like you to draw first from the
Alrighty.
Six Demon Bag.
Oh man, some wax lips.
Oh,
I haven't
man.
seen those for quite a while.
Better you than me.
Hey folks, I'm Chad Pfeiffer of hppodcraft.com, and I'm very happy to be joining these lovely gentlemen today. And I pulled out a sheet of paper that says blank night, question mark.
Okay. So I'm going to read off a list. You guys tell me when you recognize this. Gate Night, Cabbage Night, Moving Night, Devil's Night, Mischief Night.
I know Devil's Night.
I've heard of Mischief Night and Devil's Night. Are they all names for the same
Those
night?
are all names for local names for the night before Halloween.
Wow.
They set fires, yeah.
Right.
In Detroit, it's Devil's Night.
some
Crow.
crow viewers
We've
here.
got the
yeah.
perfect sound effects for this topic.
Devil's Night reading cards. Isn't that precious?
I'm feeling some sort of candy that feels like it's unwrapped, and it's really freaking me out. Oh, I think it's maybe a wax bottle with some juice inside. Blam!
Hell
Oh, I
yeah!
haven't seen
You
those
guys
for a
all
while.
saw it. I did not peek.
Yeah.
I'm psyched. I'm going to
Pretty
drink
good.
it down, and then I'm going to chew up that wax. Except that it's probably got fingerprints all up on it.
What is that stuff made out of?
Sugar
the wax.
and water. Oh, wax.
You guys- 'cause
What's
it's
the
always-
wax made of?
Yeah, what is it?
I'm going to guess wax.
So you can't
I,
eat
mean, I
it.
was always freaked out by those
you chew
things.
it
Yeah, me too. Like
Kind of like
it's-
chew it, spit it, and drink the juice, right?
I would chew on that wax all night long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
And
it.
Because I thought you were
topic-
supposed to eat it, and I'm like,
Yeah, it starts to taste bad after a while. Classic topic. Best and worst candy, Chad, go.
Oh, come on, guys. I mean, like, those peanuts are the worst ones. The
Buster,
circus
are you talking
peanuts?
about
circus
peanuts?
peanuts are awful.
Oh my god,
yeah,
I
those
waited
are
all
gross.
year for those.
those chalky, disgusting
and then I ate
things.
them by the fistful. I say best candy, sir.
Best candy is like a full-size Snicker bar, I think. You know, if you go to somebody that's being generous with the size of the,
Go to a rich
because I'm going to
neighborhood.
steal 3 fun size anyway.
Yeah.
What do you think? What's the best? Well, you
I gotta tell you,
wax
I was planning to
juice.
do a water between drinks, but now that I got this wax bottle, all bets are off.
I was at a friend's house on Halloween. He took the kids trick-or-treating, and I stayed home. Because World Series was on, I wanted to be kind of close to the TV.
So far, this checks out.
Yeah.
Right. Being Elliot, if something is there and is to be given away, I'm just giving away handfuls of candy, right? Kids would come in, I'm just putting candy in the bag. And I'm like, oh, look at you, you're a princess. Oh, you're so cute. Oh, look, hey, there's a Jedi. You get 2 extra ones. And I'm just handing out candy. And before I know it, I'm like, holy shit, I'm out of candy. And
Now you got to put the sign on the door.
the buddy's
baking powder,
wife had bought
Tabasco
a bunch
sauce.
individual size potato chips. And we gave her no end of shit for buying potato chips intended to be Halloween treats. Mm-hmm. We were, oh man, that's like the stupid, you're going to get us blacklisted in the neighborhood, and this would be in the family that gave out chips. The next thing I knew, I'm like,
giving out chips.
I got to give out chips. Like, I don't live in this neighborhood, that's fine. So
what kind of chips were they?
They were name brand chips. They were Lay's.
They weren't like Sun chips or
No.
something?
They were Lay's brand Cheetos, Doritos.
Yeah, I think I'd
Then
be
you
okay
get the
with
sweet
that.
salty.
As,
Yeah.
Some chips and have some.
You can even mash them together and eat them.
Some parents don't let their kids have chips and stuff, so I was like, whatever. But I mean, it's either this or sorry,
Pennies.
kid.
Reach into your wallet.
And he said when he got back, he's like, I was going to tell you to give them one. He's like, yeah, you should have told me because I was giving away handfuls of stuff.
We had one neighbor on my street who would make us caramel apples. My sister and I.
Well, we
And
used
they
to
were
make
just for
those.
us. You know?
We used to
Well,
make
as long
those
as
for
you
the
knew
school.
person.
Yeah, she knew we were coming
Taffy
by.
apples. We called them taffy
Yeah,
apples.
taffy apples.
Yeah, we used
It
to
was
make
like-
them for the school. Though.
That was the best, and I wonder if that happens much anymore. You know.
No, you
Probably
can't make anything.
No. Yeah.
Why are you giving my kid apples? What's the
I
matter
don't even
with
know
you?
if
Why
yeah,
are
I
you
know
being
they're
nice to
allergic
my
to apples.
family?
There's a sharp stick in the middle of those things, and it's proven.
But I don't even know if people trick or treat in their own neighborhoods as much anymore. You know,
No.
like in Santa Monica, you go over to Montana, and
Right.
everybody goes there to trick or treat, and I think you're kind of just putting a costume on and going and getting some candy and going home. You're not really the whole point of it is to get to know everybody in your neighborhood, right?
No, it's to get candy.
It's to get candy, but the candy is kind of a way get candy, get candy, get candy, get candy.
Wow,
get candy.
the cloud that passed over Ryan's face.
When
You questioned the meaning of Halloween.
Ever so often, you'd end up at your teacher's house, and you'd be
Yeah.
like, "You don't want to get to know your teacher.
I
You
did.
just want that
It's
candy."
kind of
That's
weird.
fascinating.
And then you got to go into her laundry room, and
What?
I've said too much.
Well, I remember as a kid, instead of going around the neighborhood, we used to go to the mall. And so you would basically have kids in costumes going through the Fox Hills Mall before
Yeah.
it got renamed Westfield or whatever.
I did
yeah.
that
And
one
we would
year.
just go with our bags, and all the stores would pass out free candies
That's
to the
called
kids.
looting.
Razzles.
Yum, I love them.
And the
They're my
subtitle is America's Cheapest Candy.
Nice.
What? It's first it's candy, then it's gum.
That's what's so cheap about it.
Oh,
Killer Creations.
So we have some horror authors on the podcast here, and I wanted to ask you
Who?
if
Fuck you, Elliot.
Did you say horrible authors?
what would you do if someone reenacted a crime from one of your stories?
Post it to Facebook immediately.
yeah. Yeah, market the
Oh yeah.
Just
Put out a press.
marketing?
I do not agree
Yes.
with this. This is my press release,
Here's
letting
my
everybody
book.
know this happened.
Yeah.
Available
right.
for $3 on Amazon.
I disavow all relationship to this man who got his inspiration from my book, which is available on Amazon.
Exactly. I wouldn't feel responsible for that at all, though. I can't
No.
imagine that I ever would.
Follow-up question.
Yeah.
If any of the monsters you've made came to life, which would be the worst or best?
All my monsters are delightful.
All right,
Octopus
what would be the best?
musicians. I guess I'd bring the octopus musicians.
The octopus
to life.
musicians would be pretty great.
I think the sentient rest stop toilet that sucked that guy's guts out through his asshole.
Yeah,
That's
the
pretty
killer
bad.
toilet would be
It,
pretty
it-
awesome.
it often feels like that, regardless of whether there's an actual monster involved.
I think we all know where I thought of that. I do.
On the toilet.
At a rest
The
stop.
toilet?
Probably.
I did a script that had a monster that you never see, but unless you're alone, it'll kill you if you're alone. You have to be alone, and if it gets you, it'll move on to the last person you were with. So it was sort of a viral kind of travels around. But that was a little more about the things you have to go through to not be alone. It's actually more difficult than you would think.
Yeah.
Was it before It Follows?
It was before It Follows.
Oh, they fucking copied you.
Dude, I still haven't seen that movie because I'm so upset about
man.
it.
I didn't want to say anything. I was thinking, that sounds like it follows, but now you said
no,
it
it was years
and I
before
feel
that,
okay.
and a couple of people I know a couple of people read it that worked on that movie too. So I was like,
Well-
generally I'm suspicious of I'm not the first to go like somebody ripped me off, but that one I went because I have the very beginning of it. This girl goes on a blind date, and it's not who she thinks it is, and then she winds up getting tied to this chair, and he's like,
Yeah.
I can't let you go.
Somebody
so
owes
I'm
you.
sitting there watching.
Somebody owes you some money.
The
yeah.
trailer comes up, and it's this person tied to a chair, and there's a guy's like, I can't handle this. I'm never gonna watch this movie.
I have received Boyer Milk Chocolate Mallow Cup
I like those.
Whipped Cream Center, made in USA. Something I have never seen or had before.
Really?
So this is going to be
It's
interesting.
like a peanut butter cup but with
Yeah,
marshmallow.
that's a classic old
Gross.
school candy. Mallow
Do you
cup.
remember
I don't
those
think I like
candies
those.
that were 4 segments? What the fuck were those things called?
Kit
Sky
Kats.
bars.
Sky
And they
bars,
had
yep.
peanut butter, caramel, marshmallow, and chocolate. Ooh,
Really?
yum, yum.
Basically,
wow.
the industrial runoff from the candy factory.
They should have called it Slag Bar.
It's got everything.
Thanks, Slag Bar.
It's got
Thanks, Slag Bar.
slag nut.
And the topic I have is knock off game.
All right, this was burning up the internet, so I thought I'd give us a little quick condensed knockoff game. So there's been much to do about these knockoff costume names. I'm going to read off 10 knockoff costume names. You tell me if you can figure out what the costume was.
Wow, okay.
All right.
Notionless,
Is that like a Limitless ripoff?
clueless.
Clueless.
Oh.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. All right, next one.
Where? Colombia?
Next
What do
one.
you do? Do you just is it you just a teenager costume? I
Yeah,
don't
it's like
understand.
clothes.
Pubescent frog of Silent War.
No, that's got to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All right, ding ding.
Silent War.
That's not real.
It's got to be from Japan or
Well,
China.
I'm
or
sure
something.
Jeff will post all the photos on the website.
Juice Demon.
Juice Demon.
Beetlejuice, that's right.
Juice demon.
Dead Parents Hero.
Batman.
All right.
Jesus Christ. You do have
These
to
are
explain where these come
translations.
from.
That
Where are these
can't
coming
be.
from?
Some of these are, I think, Chinese, English to Chinese, back to
Okay.
English, and
Dead
some of them
Parents
are
Hero.
they're just trying to evoke the IP without
Without
directly
actually spelling
copying
anything
the
out.
IP.
Right.
Hungry Rebel Girl.
Hunger Games?
Oh,
right. Katniss
yeah,
from
yeah,
nice.
good one. My wife was so obsessed with Hunger Games when that came out. She went and designed a whole costume. She bought stuff from Amazon to be one of the other. Who knows
Contestants.
anybody except Katniss Everdeen from those units? She was so mad nobody knew who she was. She was just like, "You're wearing
She
a
should have
jacket,
had, like,
nobody
a
knows."
sliced throat or something.
Yeah,
Ladies Sexy Factory Worker.
Oh, that's
Laverne
the
and
last
Shirley.
one here.
Lady Sexy Factory.
Rosie the Riveter.
It's actually an Oompa Loompa costume.
Oh, no.
Well, you know
Well,
how they tart up these costumes.
They are
right?
kind
that could
of
be a
sexy.
Flashdance costume too. She
I was.
had a
That's
fetish.
the first thing I thought
yeah,
of was
she was a
Flashdance.
welder in that.
The word Oompa Loompa is kind of sexual if you think about it.
Oh, I've thought
Oh,
of
I'm
that.
thinking about it.
We're going home for a little bit of the old
Give
Oompa
her the old
Loompa.
Oompa Loompa.
Midweek honey costume.
Wednesday Adams.
Wednesday Addams. Ding ding.
Nice. Wow.
You got to have a thing for Wednesday Adams to think
Yeah.
about that, I guess.
Yeah,
Well, I do, and I
Who
couldn't
doesn't?
think of it.
He wants to give Wednesday Addams the Oompa Loompa.
Yeah.
creeps.
In Beetlejuice, when you die, you become a weird, ghoulish, like Ferndock has a chicken bone caught in his throat, or a dinosaur bone, I don't know, some big giant bone. Shrunken Headman is shrunken-headed. Miss Brazil is like blue and has sliced wrists. Paper Pusher Guy is flat, like he got run over by a truck. The Maitlands are just normal people.
They drowned in their car.
Yeah, why
right?
aren't they like soaking wet the whole movie?
They could have been walking around like that ghost in the Devil's Backbone, where
I
they
guess,
look
yeah,
like,
you wouldn't have wanted
look like
that.
they're underwater
You
all the
wouldn't
time.
want-
Would have been too creepy.
Maybe it was just a wise filmmaking decision.
Yeah, you are supposed to relate to them.
You're like, I don't want to look at them anymore. I hope they go to the other side.
Weren't they wet when they first came in the house, though?
They
Did
were
they leave
cold
wet
when they
footprints?
first came in the house.
Did they leave wet
did they?
footprints? I think
Maybe
they
they
did.
were.
I
And
feel
they
like
I
dropped
think I
they
them.
were
remember
wet
that, yeah.
when
And
they
then-
first
He
came
was
out.
wiping his glasses because he had water all over.
Luckily,
it
she
and
caught on fire. Okay, good call.
In Juice Demon,
Juice
Yeah,
Demon.
they're wet,
they're wet
the
the
whole
whole
time.
stuff. Hey, speaking of Beetlejuice,
Hey, exactly. That's a real thing.
what are those?
Slag nut?
I don't know.
Hang on, let me call a timeout because I didn't know that was a real thing.
Crunchy peanut butter toasted coconut.
Oh boy.
Sounds
You
pretty
want a
good,
mush?
actually.
if you like that coconut flavor, is that
That sounds
Got something good for you.
I do love that coconut.
it's like a
flavor.
little German chocolate cake and a.
Is it nut
bar
because
form.
of coconut, or does it also have nuts in it?
I'll let you know. G-Town
Much like Ed.
Mac on Facebook.
So when Ryan and I went to the Lost Boys screening G-Tom Mac, the guy that sang Cry Little Sister, was there. And he did a little Q&A. He did a live performance. And then there was some room that was set aside, some like...
Karaoke room.
Some karaoke room. And they went in with the publicist and took a bunch of photos of him posing as if he were doing a music video on the stage and like prancing around like a vampire. And I got a good photo of him mid-leap. And he was posting about some concert series to this Halloween group I'm on in Facebook. And so I posted the photo of him from the party, and he's like, hey, wasn't that from that outdoor screening? Oh, that was such a blast. I was like, yeah, I was there. I drank the master's blood. And he was like, all right, cheers.
Yeah. The sad part of that story is that G-Tom Mac is so bored that he remembers with perfect clarity the outdoor screening from 2 years ago.
Look, if he had half as much fun as you and I did, it was probably illegal.
Nobody could have had half as much
So that
fun.
topic was really just self-aggrandizing.
Yeah, story. Yeah.
What do I got to say about G-Tom Mac?
We got...
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I love the man's entire catalog.
I'll tell you one thing, Zagnut is fucking good.
But I still do. Yes, I still believe through the change, through the greed.
I don't think I'm cheating when I pull out the other wax bottle.
Oh, dear.
It is an unmistakable feel. And is that an eyelash on there? I don't
Yeah.
care. I'm
Eat it.
chewing this shit
Chew
up.
it.
Hell yeah.
Taste the sweet stuff.
That's from the Wax Bottling Factory.
And for the topic, survival scenarios. Soft woman? Oh, 50-foot woman. Sorry, my
Soft
5
woman.
looked like an S.
I was like, is that another knockoff costume?
I
Soft
don't
woman?
think you want to escape a soft woman scenario.
I don't know.
Just embrace it. Buy her 100-foot flowers.
Nice.
You need a 50-foot credit card, am I right, guys? Huh?
Monster mist.
Like the fog.
A monster
Or the
inside
mist. The mist.
Okay.
Fan.
feedback
50-foot
suit?
fan from the 50-foot woman.
There you go.
Maybe you could find like a boy in a plastic bubble and go inside his plastic bubble.
The whole point of a plastic bubble is that you can't get into his plastic bubble.
Yeah, you're going to kill that kid.
Yeah.
Well, it's him or you, and that's
Also, I don't think a plastic bubble is
He's
going to...
gonna die anyway.
Your response to the mist is to kill a diseased child.
He's not enjoying his life. He's stuck in a bubble.
That is a very...
That's pretty presumptuous of you. How do you know?
You don't know
Maybe
that.
he's got Nintendo in that thing.
You need Zorbs. Those little plastic foam balls that you get in and you bounce around.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
one of those monsters would puncture that thing easily. It'd
Oh,
just
the
be like a
monster might,
candy
yeah,
bar thing.
yeah.
You'd be like a candy ball or something.
You'd be like a popcorn ball. Yeah, that's
Oh,
Mouth of an
sweet,
Nerdlap.
sweet
How-
popcorn balls.
How about we go and rob one of those factories that make the silica packets and just throw them at the mist?
Desiccate in the mist.
And they'll eat
That's
them.
a big... Yeah, that's true. They might.
And it says very clearly, don't eat.
So that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
You know it's going to mess them up.
Yeah.
All
Good
right,
strategy. I like it.
Yeah.
If the mist goes
Done.
away, do the monsters go away?
next strategy. I feel like maybe, yeah.
But the mist is one of those things where the humans are the real monsters, right? It just creates
Of course.
The movie, yeah.
We all know how Jeff feels about that. How would you survive a telekinetic prom queen?
Ooh.
Easy. Don't go to the prom.
There
Be
you go.
nice to her.
Like me.
Oh no, I guess even the nice ones.
There's
kind
no
of-
way I'm skipping that prom, Elliot.
If everybody's gonna get killed.
Yeah,
What
I don't
about
know who
the
the prom
memories?
king and prom queen's going to be, who the court jester is going to be. I'm in the running.
So was there anyone in Carrie who was friendly to her? And did
yeah,
they die?
the girl.
Did the girl still die?
She went insane.
Even the teachers
She was
died,
at the
didn't they?
end. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was.
You're
she
catching
was in-
on fire no matter what.
No, she survived, but at the end she was hospitalized and she was having visions of her
Yeah.
coming out of the grave and stuff.
I was actually prom king of my school. Does that give me any special?
Fuck you, Chad.
I was.
Come on, his name's Chad for Christ's sake.
I got vampires, which is just like the worst of all of them.
I would dress like classic Dracula all the time. They'd be like, "Oh, this guy is so lame."
This guy wants it too bad.
And what if he turns into a vampire? And this guy's walking around in that getup.
what if
making
that,
us all look
or
like fools?
what if that really is Dracula?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
I'm not messing with him.
gonna mess with him.
Yeah.
Best to play it safe. Summer camp slasher.
You know, yeah, even if you are nice. You still get slashed eventually.
Yeah, look,
In the
you can
sequel,
say like
nothing
don't
else.
drink or do drugs, and you'll probably be
Don't
safe.
drink, don't
because,
smoke. What
but
do
if
you
you're
do?
male, you're already doomed.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it doesn't even matter. You might
So
as well.
gender
Accept your fate.
reassignment surgery.
Is it the
first thing?
Is it the now? What is the nature of the summer camp slasher? Is it the mom? Is it the son? Is it
Fucking
the
don't go to summer
transvestite
camp.
from some
Sleepaway
sleepaway
camp?
camp? Is it because then you know
All you know
it's
is you're at summer camp and people are getting killed with pitchforks and spear guns, machetes.
Well, it's time for a hello mother, hello father, like letter home.
greetings
Yeah.
from camp. Blood. But if you could just pick a direction and just head out into the woods, like shit's going down, people are dying.
Get away from the camp.
Just get as far away from the camp because there's got to be a limit to how far the slasher can get you.
And have an extensive knowledge of slasher movies.
Yeah.
Unlike the characters inside slasher
Well,
movies.
oftentimes the characters will only hide when they're in immediate duress because
Yeah.
Right.
it's a
'Cause they're
movie,
having
and
too
so
much
it's not
fun.
dramatic.
That's
You
the
know?
time.
they're just
But
like,
if you go, that's happening, and you hide and you do it early, the slasher's not going to find you.
yeah, usually though it's like like you said, nobody starts hiding until there's like 3 people left or something.
Exactly.
You know?
And then
guy's
all the
right in
bodies
the
start
house.
popping out and they scare you. You make a
Yep.
noise. The slasher
Yeah.
comes sniffing around.
You
They're
get
all
that one dumb
spring-loaded.
camper that keeps pretending to be the slasher, and it just lulls everybody into a false sense of
Yeah.
A cat jumps in and scares you.
I mean, you could try to like dig some big tiger pits and stuff. I don't know if you have time though.
Yeah, it would take too long unless you had a backhoe or something.
Yeah.
I feel like getting in a car and just trying to bone out would only work if you had a distraction. And unfortunately, I think the distraction in this scenario would be other
You getting
teenagers.
slashed.
And even if you did get away, man, you would feel terrible. Because you're like,
Leaving other
because
folks
if you
behind.
stop and like try to rescue people, that's it. You're done.
And then the slasher's just going to show up at your house in the sequel.
Right.
That's right.
Your head will wind up in the fridge.
But I still believe through the cold, through the
We got some Laffy Taffy, banana Laffy Taffy. Ugh.
Somebody tried to tell me that flavor of banana candy is the flavor of the Gros Michel banana. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, it's intriguing. And that's the reason candy doesn't actually taste like bananas.
All right.
Anyways.
Topic. Debate. Colon. Are zombies cannibals?
I could debate my
Question
colon all day.
mark. Are zombies cannibals?
All right, gentlemen, are zombies cannibals? Break it down.
Yes?
Yeah.
Night of
Are
the Flesh
zombies humans?
I don't
Yes.
think so. They're dead.
Eaters? They're ex-humans.
They're reanimated, but they're still
Yeah.
human. I mean,
They're not jaguars.
If zombies ate zombies, then they'd be cannibals.
That's what I think.
Oh,
yeah.
but
shit.
that's like
Zombies-
saying that, you know, if I'm a breakdancer and I eat some people, you're like, he's not a cannibal because he didn't eat another breakdancer. You'd
That's
be wrong.
what- That's something
that's
Gros
not his
Michel
occup-
Banana would do.
That's not his occupation. He doesn't get paid to be a zombie. He's just a zombie.
Hey, I never got paid to be a breakdancer either.
He did
Didn't
it for
stop
the
me
love
from
of the
telling people I
game.
was one.
Didn't stop me from eating other breakdancers.
That's right. I ate up on some breaking, some turbo and ozone.
You do steal the other breakdancer's power and ability.
That's
if
true.
You
That's
kill
true,
them,
man.
You do bite the moves.
You,
Oh no, I've pulled another Laffy Taffy. Sour apple. Remember those commercials for blow pops?
Yes.
I once bought an entire box of blow pops because I thought if I handed them out in class, I would become popular.
how'd that work?
Spoiler alert, it didn't work. Classic topic, impossible costume.
All right, Chad, was there ever a costume, or is there still one that is you've always wanted and never got, or you thought was too impractical, too unwieldy?
Certainly, I've had issues where people didn't know what my costume was, or I was mistaken for somebody else. But impossible, no, I haven't come up against that.
Because you're not too ambitious in the costume department.
I've never been that ambitious, but every once in a
Fucking
while I'll go
burn.
after something obscure. You know, I was Criswell one year for Halloween from the Ed Wood movies, and nobody had any clue. I just had an ascot gray
Amazing
hair.
Criswell?
Yeah, I was the Amazing Criswell. Doing predictions all night, and nobody knew who it was.
Oh, but everyone lost their minds over your Better Call Saul costume.
I know.
That's a
Felt
good
bad for you
costume.
guys. My space
I was
blanket
all right.
won the day.
Yeah, it was pretty great. As long as people are responding to something, it's cool.
I was a vampire that night. A vampire that was never pictured on screen from Rick and Morty. I was Coach Ferratu.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
And at the place we all went for Halloween, there was many other vampires there. and when we'd be like walking up the stairs or heading into line for the bar or something, me and the other vampires would just kind of give each other a little nod.
Yeah.
And man, that felt good. I really liked being acknowledged by other vampires.
What candy did you get?
Oh, I got Zots. AVP Monster Mash.
I had one on deck, which is related to a project I'm working on, but it's Predator versus Jason Voorhees.
Predator's got space guns, and space guns kill Jason Voorhees unless he gets nanotech infusions.
He has a Jason X.
Yeah.
It's not Jason X, but
Jason is dead, though, and he doesn't show up on the heat right thing.
that's correct.
The heat vision.
He's not dead.
He doesn't show up on the heat vision.
How do you... Oh,
Well,
does he
if
not
it's
show up
post-
on heat vision in those...
We're talking zombie
Yeah,
Jason.
Yeah,
Okay.
if it's reanimated.
Oh, that's
Post
true.
6
Yeah,
Jason.
yeah, of course.
Reanimated
of course,
Jason
Yeah.
at Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah. Ooh, wow.
It's hot.
Shit.
So the Predator shows up. He knows there's an apex predator to hunt.
Jason is a
Jason
match for the
Voorhees.
Predator. But can
Also,
Jason get up in
Predators-
trees?
Predators don't use their gun on unarmed targets.
Jason's got machetes. Everything's a weapon to Jason.
But the Predator would use a spear or his wrist-mounted blades.
The Predator would get so frustrated at his inability to destroy Jason fully, he would just get back in his spaceship and leave.
I think so.
He'd be like, fuck this.
A lot of Jason's power is in fear as well.
Not tell anybody about it. God, I went on.
Predator wouldn't
How was
even
your hunting
care.
trip this weekend? Fucking, I'm not. The
Didn't even
the
go.
less
I
said
stayed
about that,
home.
the better.
I'll march this road. I'll climb this hill upon my knees if I have to.
I got the legendary pixie stick. And the classic topic is best and worst costume.
Where's your head at,
Breast
dude?
and worst costume.
Yes.
I think we were onto something.
Go back to the other topic.
I don't know. My Skeksis costume was pretty neat.
I never saw it put together.
Never saw it either.
Were you a young fella when you were a Skeksis?
No.
If by 39 you mean young, then yes. I saw one that was a young lady who had on a sweater
Is
with
this
an A
breast
on it.
costume?
No, with an A on it. She had the scarlet letter.
Scarlet letter.
I just thought it was so
That's
cool.
pretty good.
That's very good.
And there was a girl who had like a wedding dress and these two little red marks on her neck.
Ooh.
And that was the whole
Lucy?
thing. So I always
like
like those
that.
kind of little subtle kind of things.
You made me. This is a little off topic, but talking about Skeksis and the Dark Crystal, you made me think about. I had this roommate who looked like Frankenberry, and I didn't realize it. Nobody knew it. He'd been walking around. He was in my life. He looked like the pink Frankenstein's monster from the cover of that cereal box, and he was being a jerk one day, and my roommate turned to him and he goes, "Shut up, you ugly fucking Frankenberry." Nobody had picked up on the thing at once, and the minute he said it, the laughter was so uproarious.
Oh, the laughter
Because it
of
was like,
truth.
bam! It just nailed him so hard, and you just saw the blood like just rush out of his face because he just up
And
until
then
that
he
moment.
didn't look
He
like
thought he had left
Frankenberry
that
anymore.
behind.
Yeah, that's probably a high school thing or something.
Please tell me he drowned himself in a bowl of milk
Well,
and you
the,
drank that milk.
no, but
And it
just-
tasted like...
He was clearly upset about it. It was one of those times you nailed somebody so hard you could tell it kind of hurt his feelings. Like, he was still a little. He stopped talking, and then so my friend that had done it to him, who really did look like a Gelfling from the Dark Crystal, said that was the way he comforted him. He was like, "Look, man, everybody knows I look like a Gelfling. It's okay that you look like an ugly fucking Frankenberry."
He shouldn't have wore so much blue eyeshadow.
It's a little bit better look like a Gelfling than to look like a Frankenberry. Let's be honest.
a little bit. The Gelfling got laid more definitely than the Frankenberry.
What's the worst costume you've ever seen?
I went as Guy from the 90s in like 2001, which was a pretty lazy costume.
Yeah, a little bit
It was just clothes I owned.
too soon.
Yeah, sounds like a real prom king kind of costume.
Man.
I'll wait till the end of time for you like everybody else.
Its candy is
Probably a bit of honey.
bit of honey. Yeah. Favorite Halloween ritual.
I have two Halloween rituals. Well, one is every fall I like to catch a falling leaf. And it's surprisingly hard to do. Very
I
fun.
can't catch them anymore. They
You'll make
evade me.
yourself dizzy and or knock out a tooth. trying to catch a spiraling leaf. But this year I was lucky enough to be on the East Coast, and I was actually in a colonial cemetery, and I caught a falling leaf. That
And then
felt good.
some fucking bones rose
pretty
from the
nice.
ground and granted you 3 wishes.
It was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
My second Halloween ritual is I have this little figure called a Halloween goblin, and when you put him in water, he expands to 300% his size. And on the package it says, if you take care of the Halloween goblin, it will ensure that everyone has a great Halloween and that Halloween goes on forever and you'll get lots of candy. So on October 1st every year, I put my little Halloween goblin in the water. And then I guess my third ritual is on midnight, the last day of September, I will email Ryan a clip from Mortal Kombat where he goes,
It has begun!
I look forward to it every year. One year I actually ran it in reverse for the end of October, but
That
I'm
was
too
awesome.
lazy to do that now.
Does anyone else have any October, fall, or Halloween traditions?
Hearing this always makes me think about Halloween. Always makes me think about October. Sure. Those little notes just give me so much Halloween joy.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, my rituals are definitely to watch every single
Yeah, we do.
Halloween slash slasher movie that I could possibly get my hands on.
I do 31 first-time watches of horror movies every
Are there
year.
that many left?
Yeah, I keep running into it. Well, they make
I
them.
always
They make
find
them every
good
year. So I do that every year. It's also kind of my anniversary. That when I asked my wife to go out with me, it was October 31st. We took my stepson trick or treating. So we always go to this local pizza place, and we close out Halloween night by going to this pizza place and bringing a pizza home. And I watch Halloween 3. That's my end of Halloween ritual.
You took a random woman and her kid trick or treating and then asked her
It
out.
wasn't a random woman. We had been seeing each other. I met my stepson before I met her because my buddy's mom used to watch him. So he'd be over all the time, and I'd kind of play with him and stuff like that. And then she came over, and I met her, and we started dating. And then it was we started dating exclusively on Halloween.
Oh, you went steady.
Nice. Yeah,
Aw,
You're gonna be
I
my
never heard
number
that
one
story.
girl.
yeah, basically.
Halloween 3, I've watched that a million times, but my wife has never really watched it. She's always like, "Is that the one that I'm not interested?" And this year, it's
Until
then
you
just
watch
hang
it.
out and watch it for a bit if you can handle it, because it's got a lot of really high pitched scoring in it.
Yeah.
which is definitely, she's got tinnitus, and she'll shut
Oh,
the movie
okay,
out
okay,
right away. But I'm like, sit through it. The score is obnoxious for that movie, but the scene. It was so joyous, the scene when he throws the mask over the camera. Mm-hmm. Just the explosion of laughter. Because it's so ridiculous. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, and the security
He's got
camera,
the skull
yeah,
mask, and he's tied up, and he just dunk.
It's perfect.
It's totally
Perfect.
ridiculous. Yeah.
I love that movie.
The movie is terrible.
I
but
love that
terrible
movie. I love that movie as a Halloween movie. It's awesome. It's perfect for the season. It's about a prank. It's got witches. It takes place on Halloween. It's
Yeah.
trick or treaters. It's just awesome.
Now, you guys
It's
used to
kinda
go to
cheesy.
It's got
Swingers,
Celtic mythology.
Swingers Santa Monica every year for Halloween. You can't do
Yeah.
that anymore. They closed.
That's
They
one of the
finally
topics
closed
in the
that dump
bag.
down.
You didn't like
Yeah.
that place?
I hated
R.I.P.
Swingers.
Swingers.
It was because of all your...
All your hatred did its
Yeah.
trick. Well,
Wait,
the
was
one
that
in
the place that had
Beverly's
no
still there,
chicks?
but the
Yeah.
Santa Monica one
I
is
like
closed.
that place.
Yeah.
Gone,
Yeah.
but not forgotten.
Every year,
Until next year.
we would go to Swingers at the end of Halloween, and from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., there was a line out the door of drunk people in Halloween costumes there. It was like
AM?
the Halloween after
2 a.m.
party.
4 a.m. You mean? Yeah.
That's sorry.
I went with you guys last year, actually.
Yeah, that was such a special time. I don't know how we're going to replace it next year. We're going to try to go to Bright Spot, I think.
We'll see.
We'll see.
It's really far away.
All right, my candy is Zotz, orange flavor. And my topic, scariest moments.
I have a horror haunted house scariest moment, which somehow I didn't talk about. But I have talked about the Casper haunted house that came through at the summer carnival every year. It was like a trailer, one of those haunted house trailers, you know. But I was not young. I was probably like 12 or 13, and I bought a ticket. I was like, yay, the Casper haunted house, I'm going to go. And I think what happened was I had never gone into it by myself. So I went in there, and
I mean, friendly ghost. What's the worst that could happen?
in the very beginning, there was like a long hallway and like a psychedelic painting at the end or whatever, and it was all really dark, and you could see that you have to turn a corner at the end. And I took a couple steps, and the darkness closed in on me, and I realized and I had been through it before, but I was like, I don't know what's going to be around that corner, and I totally chickened out, went back out the entrance, and I said to the guy, tell you what, my little cousin's never been through this. I'm going to give him my ticket to be generous, because I didn't want him to think I was a coward.
Yeah.
And so I gave my 2-3 years younger cousin the ticket, and he went
goes
through.
through it like,
oh
yeah!
No
It's
problem.
like, that was lame.
I'm glad I
problem.
didn't pussy out on that one.
And all it was is like you step on the thing and the air hisses out, and the light lights up on the Frankenstein or whatever.
Ryan, I hate to tell you, but that carny that ran the Casper Haunted House truck,
murdered.
he listens to this podcast. And now he knows you.
Now he knows.
Damn
Fucking
it.
gutless,
Your cowardly
Oh, wow.
nature.
yellow coward.
I went through the one at Midsummer Scream all by myself, so
And I was proud of you.
yay.
I did have, now that I've given a moment to think about it, I was studying for, you guys ever see that show Lance Link, Secret Chimp?
Yes.
It was like a late 70s. Well, you would never get away with making a show like that now.
A lot of
because
animal
it was
abuse.
a lot of animal abuse. Yeah, it was a lot of chimpanzees dressed up in people
Tell
clothes.
that to Santa Anita.
And I believe Lance Link was the main guy who was a detective of some sort. Well, I'd never seen that when I was a kid. I'd never heard of it in my life. I was in college and studying for an anthropology final. Biological basis of human behavior, and the entire course was about chimpanzees. It was just 24 hours I had been in that book learning about estrus and chimp behavior and why they groom and all this kind of stuff, just really focused on it. And I pulled an all-nighter, was about to go to the final. It was like 7 in the morning, and I turned on the television, and Lance Lake's Secret Chimp was on television. Never seen of it, never heard of it, and I thought I was crazy, that it was a PI show, and I was just seeing chimps. And it's the closest I've ever come to thinking I was crazy. I mean, it took a minute, and then I flipped to another, okay, regular people, flip back, and then I went, okay, this is on purpose. But there was really, I really had a moment where I went, I've lost my fucking mind, man.
Awesome.
I'm seeing chimps on television in a people show. It scared me really bad.
And
So
then
there you
your
go.
roommate was like, "What's the problem?" And he was a chimp too, for the listener.
He was
He's eating a Gros
Through your
Michel.
hair.
Trick-or-treating stories.
All right, Chad.
That's all you, Chad.
Do you have any trick-or-treating stories?
Well, no, just that I was just talking about this the other day with Chris on my show about, when you realize you're a little too old for it. And I was with my friends, and we all had kind of weak-ass costumes that were just a mask or a piece of clothing. And we'd go to the door, get the candy, go back. Everybody would switch costume, go back in and get more candy.
I think that's called harassment.
Yeah. But
funny thing
I
is,
distinctly
It's not
remember...
Halloween. Go away. Leave me
The
alone.
third house we had it extorted in such a manner, I went, I'm not even enjoying this anymore. I'm just really trying to steal candy from
I could
people.
just go and buy the candy.
Yeah, this is really silly.
The funny thing about that is costumes hide your identity. So even if you switch costumes, there's
I
still
know.
5 of that same character coming to your door over and over again.
Well, then you also realize that the effort isn't worth it. They're just going, here's some more candy. I don't
Right.
care. You're just an anonymous kid.
You're not old enough
I'm
to
trying
know
to
that
have
the adults
sex.
don't care.
They don't care at all. They're going to give you could go to the door with no costume on. They're going to give you candy.
I remember that point though, because like you start getting people and they answer the door and their faces they change
Yeah, they're like,
expression.
what?
Yeah.
So that was gonna
It's
be
like you're
my,
asking for too many peanuts from the stewardess or something. Their face drops and you're like, oh, okay, I should stop.
My limit.
That was going to be my story. It's the last time I went trick-or-treating. I went by myself, and I had some BS Army helmet. And I think I had like a green shirt. And I was like, I'm going to be a soldier. And
How
I
old
went-
were you?
I was like 13 or 14. And I went to this door and knocked on the door, and the guy came. This was in my neighborhood. And he said, how old are you? And I said, 14. And he shouted at somebody in the house. I was like, it's a 14-year-old nigga in here talking about trick-or-treat. Get your ass out of here, trick-or-treat. That's for little kids. I was like, okay. I just went home.
It's it's sad when you hit your limit. You go, this is something I can't participate in.
That guy was the
anymore.
Scrooge of Halloween.
No, but I mean, he was right. I mean, he was too fucking old. 14
there's
years
a
old is
time.
too old to be going trick or treating.
Noli is going out trick or treating this year with her friends in Burbank.
It's cute when girls do it.
She's
When girls do it, it's cute. But when a big fat 14-year-old kid
by himself.
Yeah, by himself.
That's true. That detail.
Easy target too.
Yeah.
I'll march this road, I'll climb this hill, up on my knees if I have to.
Looking for the Zots. I think I found a Zots.
Yeah.
I found a Zots, and it's cherry. I'm about to pop my Zots cherry. The topic I have chosen is another classic topic, and well, no, I don't want to do that one because it's unless you have any awesome spider stories.
Oh, fuck you. I have a new spider story.
Right, it's a classic topic, and it's spider stories.
Spider stories?
Yeah. So,
I think Jeff is creating spider stories.
I'm still accruing spider stories. This one is hot off the web. So, thank you. So I was riding in the passenger side of my wife's car, and you know how sometimes there's a little bit of drafting or like air that kind of blows in at you from the corner of the door? Mm-hmm. So I was sitting there on the passenger side, and I was getting the faintest little brush and tickle at my upper arm and near my elbow. And like it happened once, it happened twice, it happened 3 times. And I was like, this is really annoying. And I looked down, and there was a big ass spider on my arm. It was a jumping spider the size of a small crab. I don't know if you could picture jumping spider. You could definitely picture a small crab. I didn't want to scream or make any sudden movements because my wife was driving, and I couldn't just like open the door and jump out as much as I wanted to. And so I said to my wife, slow down at this light, put down the window. And I had like a really weird tone in my voice. And so like she kind of slowed down at the red light, and she can verify this. She saw the size of this crab. And like, I knew that if I tried to get this thing out the window when we were going at 30 miles per hour, it would just blow back in at me. So I kind of lifted up my arm when we slowed down and just real quick, just slapped it out of the car. It was a jumping spider, so I knew it could have like also like jumped a football field in length. Yeah. This thing was easily this big.
Oh man.
It was Jeff is holding his forefinger and thumb.
Yes, a small crab. I don't know.
2 inches apart.
If you all are familiar with crabs.
Bro, it's because they know.
Intimately.
They're coming for you, man.
Did you ever have any weird encounters with spiders when you were growing up, Chad?
Sure. I mean, I was scared of spiders like anybody. I remember the first time I saw an egg sac. That was the really, I had one of those play sets they would sell for Star Wars. It was Tatooine. And you'd flip it, and it just had like a grid of plastic on it, which is a perfect spider egg laying thing. So I got it out of my toy box. Oh, what's this? And took a thumbtack. It was like webbed up in the corner and split it open, and all the little baby spiders came running out. And
they were alive? That's
lost
lucky.
my mind.
Much like the real Tatooine.
I did have a defining experience, though, when I was young. There were neighbors down the street I liked a lot, and an older boy, and I always wanted to do whatever he was doing. He was like really cool. But they picked on me a lot because my sister was 2 years older, was closer in age to them, and I was kind of the kid who'd run around like, what's up, guys? And so they'd always play tricks on me. And I went down there once, and they had a dead spider. It was huge. And he's like, this is for you to eat. Oh, yeah, we already ate ours. It was that old trick. We already ate our spiders. And that was the moment I went, fuck this. I have no interest in being friends with you people. I just turned around and left. I was like, I'm not eating a spider for nothing. But it was a real defining moment because it was the first time I went, this peer pressure shit is...
You grew up a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, you hit my limit. It's eating a spider. I'm not that interested in your little club. And they respected. They didn't pick on me as much after that.
See,
because I was like, this kid won't eat the spider.
Chad's confidence grew 3 sizes that day.
That's how he became the prom king.
Yep.
That reminds me.
I ran on a campaign of not eating
spiders.
Somehow, in this scenario, I was a democratically elected prom king.
That reminds me of a shameful episode from my childhood when, as I've said before, my house was full of big black wolf spiders. And back before I was so enlightened, we would kill wolf spiders. because they're way too like fast and wily to like
They also
scoop
keep
up
their
and
young
get
on their back,
outside.
don't they?
Yeah.
You ever see that before? Oh.
Like some
And
kind
so-
of Mega Man villain.
Yeah.
So I was hanging out with my buddy Matt, and we saw a big black wolf spider, and I got a paper towel off the roll, and I went up and smashed it, and I crushed it up in the paper towel. And then we were like, I don't know, 13 at the time, and I looked up at him, and he saw the evil glint in my eyes, and he just started running. And I was chasing him in and out of the house with this crushed up spider in the paper towel. And when we made another Tom and Jerry loop through the kitchen, I stopped, grabbed a fresh paper towel, grabbed a bit of chocolate cake, and then I resumed the chase, and then I cornered him. And then when he was in the corner and I lifted up the paper towel and he thought I was going to like rub a spider on him, and instead I peeled open the sticky black mess and I ate it. He screamed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty good.
So
Where did you go
good.
from there? I mean, that's
So
a
good.
great end to the story, but I kind of want to know the epilogue. Like, after that was...
He died.
He died of fright.
I'm not hanging out with you. Oh, he died.
Never saw that kid again.
I'll wait till the end of time for you like everybody else.
We had a spider that we were torturing one day, my friend and I, because he had a chemistry set.
So cavalier.
See, this guy fucking gets it.
Yeah.
Like, well, you know, we got a cup and we put every chemical in his chemistry set in there, and then had found a spider. I don't know if it was daddy long legs or what it was, but threw it in there.
Did it turn into a giant mutant?
And that's what we were dreaming of happening. But he's holding the glass with all the stuff, and we had thrown a spider in there, and he's looking down into it. And I'm like, what's happening? Is it getting stuck or what's going on? He goes, oh, it's climbing up the side. Blows into the thing to push it, and all of the chemicals go right out into his eyes. And we were at his house alone. You know, we were like latchkey kids, so
Plutonium.
this was like at 3:30 in the afternoon, no parents
my
around or
gosh.
anything. And that was the moment I went, I just blinded my friend. Like, he's gonna be blind. He was crying. We called poison control.
Wow, that's smart.
We were like, all right, man. They're like, what's in it? I'm getting the whole chemistry set together. Brine shrimp.
How
you
much
know, I
time
mean,
do you
things.
have?
It's like, you know, there's nothing in here that could hurt you. Really.
Sea monkeys.
Sodium. Yeah, exactly. They're not selling, you know, boric acid to children, so there's nothing in there that's really going to hurt you. But
Sodium,
we were explaining it all to poison
turmeric,
control.
flour.
But I remember really distinctly giving them the whole scenario. All right, we put a bunch of stuff in there. We threw a spider in, and then he blew. And they're just like, "Sir, what can you know? What actually happened? We don't care like about blowing on the
You wouldn't
spider."
let up to
or,
it.
you know, I was really scared that he was
To
blind.
this day, your friend still has spider vision, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I would have
He's got
probably
spider
just
vision.
run. I would have been like, well,
See ya.
yeah. Calling poison control was
Well,
so...
he did. He
so
had, you know, the Halloween
mature of you.
when those pumpkins first were being sold in stores that had the faces molded into them. Were very popular for a while, and he had a bunch of those in his house. He had an older house, same kid, and we weren't kids. We were probably 19 years old, and we were throwing them at each other in his backyard. And I threw one, and it went right through a window of his house, shattered it. Old glass, and he just laughed and ran away. He pulled that move, and then his mother comes downstairs and she's like, "What happened? What? Ah!" Steps on glass, cuts her foot wide open, blood like where the blood's spurting out of the foot, and he had run away. So it was just like, hey, I'm gonna like, what do I do for my friend's mom? This injury that I created.
You're like, I just got to finish her off, I guess.
Yeah, I know. And that was when the murdering started.
I got what I think is a root beer barrel.
Oh, I didn't know
looking-
those were in there.
What are those called?
It's called Dad's, and I think the root beer.
Yeah,
candy.
that's Dad's root beer, baby. That's good.
So I'm looking forward to eating that
I
one.
haven't seen those in a while.
Yeah, best and worst Halloween. For me, one of my best was that year we went to that wacky house somewhere downtown. There was a real cute girl I was talking to. But I think she was that girl that, like, you take her home and she leaves her jacket or something. And you go to take it back to her and she's dead in the cemetery. I think that's the girl that she was.
Resurrection Mary.
There was like a 60-year-old man who told me that story, but he had it set in Santa Monica. No, this really happened. And have you ever had to dispel that, you know? I went, that's That's Resurrection Mary, man. That's an old man.
Yeah, I've heard it from a couple of different sources.
He says, no. It was that cemetery over here. It happened to my uncle, you know.
You were like, you're crazy. Old people are stupid. Fuck you.
But I don't know. I did feel bad. I should have just let it go. He told me the story really well, too, and I saw where it was going.
Sometimes you
I
just
listened
can't
to the whole
let it
thing
go.
through, and then I went, oh, that's bull roar, man.
Couldn't let him have it.
I moved out here November 1st, 1996. So Halloween night, my last night in Illinois where I'd grown up, in Chicago, there was a big party at Improv Olympic, and that was about the best Halloween I think I've had. Everything's going to be fantastic from here on out, you know. I'm 22 years old. I'm moving to LA, you know.
Rocket ship.
But when you really are about to move across the country, there's, you know, no holds barred on your partying, you know what I mean? There was no girl I wouldn't ask out or dance with me or anything. It was just a really fun night, yeah.
Oh, wow. My last night wasn't like that at all.
Jesus Christ.
I'm trying to think, yeah. I wish I'd done Trails of Terror on Halloween, because otherwise I just sat in my house watching Family Matters Halloween special.
And that is the worst Halloween.
I think I got a spit take from Chad.
That's sad.
Did you know that there was a petition to move Halloween to the last Saturday of the month?
I call bullshit. There's no veil thinning on the last Saturday of the month.
I mean, Halloween is at Halloween for a
It's
reason.
on a religious...
Mythically,
Yeah,
religiously, from the Catholic Church, from the Celtic religion.
Bunch of pagans.
How are you supposed to call spirits on October 24th? It's
But
impossible.
having Halloween on a Wednesday fucking sucks.
And everybody parties the previous Saturday.
Right.
Yeah, but some people
still
try
gonna
to
get your
party the weekend after.
And I don't like it.
Oh, you can't
Yeah.
do
No,
that
it's
either.
ridiculous.
No.
You got to
And
do it the weekend before. You can't do it the
Yeah,
weekend
so no
after.
one does it on the Wednesday or Thursday, and then you get a half-ass party before, you get a half-ass party the weekend after, and if it's a leap year, you may just skip over the Friday
may
or
not even
Saturday.
happen.
Which is happening this year.
That's funny, man. Yeah, I disapprove if it's the weekend after Halloween and somebody's walking around in a ghost costume, I just shake my head.
Well, but the
You
weekend...
shouldn't be doing that.
The weekend after Halloween is also usually Day of the Dead, isn't it?
The day after Halloween.
November
is Day of
1st.
the Dead.
First, yeah.
The problem with having everyone's Halloween party the weekend before Halloween is that everyone's having their party the weekend before Halloween. So you get a party with 4 people because everyone's going to other parties.
So how do you feel about this petition to move Halloween to the
you'd
last
have the same
Even
issue.
more people would be having their parties.
Oh, it
on
would
that
be the
Saturday.
last Saturday of
I
October.
like it when it's on a
So it would
Wednesday,
never
so-
be after Halloween.
I kind of like it. I like that it falls on a weird day every
Yeah,
year.
because I like going to the party on the weekend, and then on Halloween I'm at home and I like have good meal and maybe carve a pumpkin and watch a horror movie or
spooky.
something. So I get
That's how I used to do it.
I get a
a
double
public
dose.
and a private.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Christmas, you know.
That was my Halloween night ritual for the first few years. Just get a pizza, watch a movie, carve
great.
a pumpkin.
Yeah.
All right, I feel validated now. Thank
yeah,
you,
man,
Prom
that's the way
King.
to do it.
Cry yourself to sleep.
Man.
Masturbate, solve.
Oh,
Masturbate a
certainly
little.
masturbate.
Stop.
What do you think carving the pumpkin is for?
A little.
Whoa.
Oh, sorry. Did we take a weird turn?
He just carved it with one little.
Not a weird.
Did we take a spooky turn?
One little hole
What
in
is
it.
that, a Halloween Cyclops you made there?
It's a Halloween one-eyed monster.
Yeah, I'm kind of either way on that. It makes sense because it gives us all a chance to really party.
Well, who's doing this petition? Is it Mad?
The people.
Or is it on change.org or something?
The people pursuing this petition is the Halloween costume lobby, actually.
Sounds like a bunch of incels to
Sounds like
me.
a bunch of corporate bullshit to me.
Yeah. Does that change their mind? They think when Halloween is all day long, more kids will go out, but when Halloween is after school on a weeknight, less kids will buy costumes and go out. And also, they say that there's more accidents on Halloween when it's at night. But if it was during Saturday, parents could chaperone the children earlier in the day.
Yeah,
I
but
still
people
say
don't want to go trick or treating.
trick-or-treat during the
That's
day
part of the
is
thing.
bullshit.
Part of the
man.
thing of Halloween is that you kind of have to face your
Supposed to be
fears,
spooky.
right? You got to go out at night. You got to knock on people's doors. You don't know who's gonna open the door. Maybe somebody's gonna scare you. There's gonna be a witch across the street.
There's
There's
gonna
gonna
be
be
a-
a Frankenstein behind you.
Dummy on the porch, it's actually a guy.
Yeah, but there's a part of you as a kid you have to face those little fears, and you grow up and you say, "See, it's like the things that I'm afraid of really aren't that dangerous."
Hey guys, thanks so much for letting me be on the show this time.
thank you for coming out.
I've been a listener. It was just as fun to participate as I thought it would be.
Oh, no.